Hello to everyone in the internet. It is currently Tuesday, January 15th, 2019. I am Nathan of Washington. You are watching The Young Globalist, and this is the news. Alright, you can see my TV in the background. I was listening to see what's on the screen. I was listening to some Bolt Thrower. Old school death metal at its finest. Anyway. The British Parliament votes down Theresa May's latest Brexit proposal. Surprise, surprise. When is Britain going to get this shit over with? When are they going to make their final decision? They keep seesawing on this crap. It's ridiculous. Are they going to do it, or aren't they going to do it? But Theresa May fears that a no-deal Brexit could mean independence for Scotland, a united Ireland, and possible breakup of the UK. I have to ask myself, what's so bad about that now? Independent Scotland, the United Ireland, things that they've wanted for years and should have happened by now? What is she thinking going to happen to Wales, I wonder? What's going to happen to the Welsh? It's almost like they're never considered in anything. That doesn't seem particularly fair, now does it? But that almost sounds like a good thing. Especially since the UK government is becoming more and more despotic by the day. Sounds to me like a no-deal Brexit would be amazing. Jeremy Corbyn presents a possible vote of no confidence in the current British government. He's the leader of the British Labour Party. And he's been tabling a vote of no confidence, not just in Theresa May, but the whole government. I hope that vote goes through and they take the thing down. It's getting more and more tyrannical by the day. I wish that we here in America had a vote of no confidence system like that. Then I would totally vote no confidence in the Democratic Party, thus ending their horrific and obvious corruption. But of course we don't have that, so we can't really do that. Otherwise I would totally do that. That'd be amazing. But sadly, alas, still, I mean, like I said, I mean, if that does happen, if her fears are true, then I actually kind of want that to happen. That'd be amazing. But, yeah, I mean, that vote of no confidence would be pretty great. It's obvious that that Brexit deal is never going to happen. Although I like how surprisingly, I like how Theresa May responded to him tabling that. Her saying that, that she'd be fine with stepping down, but she promised that when they voted for a Brexit in 2016, she promised to deliver a Brexit. But she still hasn't done it, so she's not going to make good on that promise. You might as well make her step down right now. There's no confidence. According to a prominent Hungarian politician, his name is idesz MEP Tamas Deutsch, says that George Soros controls the EU. Really? Well, apparently Soros has made many a meeting with prominent EU leaders, and fairly frequently, it would seem, on almost 20 separate occasions. This would mean he's literally meeting more often than certain other member states of the EU get to meet each other. Leaders he has met with include Jean-Claude Juncker, Franz Timmermans, Emmanuel Macron, and Dimitris Avramopoulos. This seems highly suspicious. And Soros is in fact a globalist and a very dirty, dirty man. He's been caught red-handed on many different things, so he's dirty as all hell. So there's some reason maybe to believe that maybe this is not true, but let's not jump the gun, because there's nothing truly conclusive. But it's a strong likelihood. The evidence makes for a pretty strong belief. He meets them more often than they meet each other, so that's hella suspicious. I'd keep an eye on Soros. A real sharp eye, and I'd never take it off. Just as soon as I'd keep an eye on the British government, too. They're corrupt as all hell. Bottom line is, European politics have never been, they've always been really corrupt or really messed up in some way. That's never really changed. The name of the game and the game itself has always been the same. It's just gotten a little more obvious. John Brennan may have visited Russia secretly moments before the release of the Steele dossier. Then Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid. I think it could be Reid. I'm hoping that's Reid. Thought that Brennan was that's R-E-I-D. Harry Reid thought that my sick mind. He was a Senate Minority Leader. Harry Reid thought that Brennan was using him in order to publicize pretend links between Trump and Russia. Yeah. I've already explained recently how in a previous episode how the Steele dossier was bought and paid for by a former British agent living in Russia. And there's solid evidence that John Brennan was there in Russia prior to the Steele dossier being put together. This is looking more and more like it was like the whole Steele dossier thing has been deliberately put together, and it's a fake. It's been deliberately put together to smear Trump to try and get him removed from office so that a Democrat can be put in his place. An obvious attempt at a possible coup d'etat. I mean, that's a straight quote from my source there. That's Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid thought that Brennan was using him. There's a lot of reason to think so, but again, as always, the evidence is non-conclusive. We always seem to fall just short of our goals, don't we? But several Russian leaders can attest to the fact that John Brennan was there around that time. So in short, it would seem that the dirty Democrats are at it again. And that the Steele dossier is indeed full of crap. And was arranged for, its creation was arranged for with the Russian government. In other words, they're the ones who actually colluded. Go figure, right? Bonus. Meghan McCain comes under fire for hanging out with Louis Farrakhan, a known anti-Semite. Said comparing Jews to termites and various other things. Now, she seems to be taking the attitude that what Farrakhan says doesn't matter so much as what he does is what matters. That's kind of how I see people too. Like, a lot of the time what people say really doesn't matter. It's what they do that matters, for the most part. The only time anything you say matters is whether or not you're hurting someone's feelings, or, you know, if you're telling the truth. Otherwise, it really can be really just, you know, meaningless drivel. Your actions will always speak a lot louder than your words. And not once has Louis Farrakhan done anything to harm Jews, physically. So, in a sense, it really doesn't matter. Although her defense of her relationship with him really does seem fairly hypocritical, as Miss McCain is a leading member of the feminist women's march, and now there's a debate of forcing her out of the group. Personally, I think she should just up and leave that group. It's obvious that even if, you know, they don't find a reason to kick her out, they're never going to respect her again. And you don't need that kind of treatment. I mean, as important as feminism can be, I'd just walk. I would just leave. I would walk. You don't need to be treated like that. You don't need that shit. Just go. Just don't go to Russia and be John Brennan arranging for a fake dossier. For our final story today, the partial government shutdown is now in its 25th day. What's going on, you might ask? Well, let's see. 800,000 federal workers going unpaid. Democrats desperately negotiating with Trump in meeting after meeting, but he won't budge. Honestly, who's more stubborn, the Democrats or him? I'd say him. Trump is like a stubborn mule. He won't give up until he gets what he wants. Mueller. Some Dems joke about, oh boy, I hope we get McDonald's during our meeting. Don't joke like that. Don't joke. I mean, even if McDonald's were to suddenly add like a shit ton of vegan options to their menu, I still wouldn't eat there. Because that, my friend, is a house where they make empty calories. That kind of food will give you chemical energy that'll last about as long as it takes me to go take a piss. Not very long. You're going to feel tired and empty shortly after. Because again, those are empty calories. Calories hold nutrients in them for later use. Those calories are empty, they're basically worthless and they just take up space. That's what McDonald's is all about, baby. Making you fat and filling you with empty calories so your energy doesn't last very long, so you'll come back for more. So don't joke like that, dude. You don't want McDonald's, trust me. But yeah, that's what's going on in the government right now. I really have to wonder if Trump will ever give up, or if the Dems will ever give up. Hopefully the Dems will give up and he'll get his wall. Just pay the man already. And there's already been crowdfunding, but it's just not enough. The crowdfunding could eventually make it easier to build that wall. And I know Texas decided to pay their portion of the wall because they wanted it. Because the border with them is right there, so... Let's just wait and see who's more stubborn and what ends up happening in the coming weeks. Anyway, I'm out.